Hey everyone, I'm Fred Ranger and I hope you're doing good. If this is the first video you're seeing from me, please consider subscribing. On this channel, I talk about the gear that we use to tell our stories. I truly believe that there's never been a better time, a better day, a better age to be in the business of telling your story. The gear is readily available, the technologies and the platforms are very mature as we speak. So pick up that camera, turn that light on and hit record because you are going to learn a lot, and that's the goal of this channel. Right after the intro, I'm gonna talk about me maybe switching to the evil brand. Right up. So you've been watching this channel for, I don't know, a year, 6 months, 2 days, 2 minutes, and you can already tell that I am a Fuji Film shooter since the past couple years. And I've been a happy Fuji Film shooter. I was a Nikon shooter. I sold all my gear. If you click on the video here, you'll see why. And I hopped on the Fujifilm bandwagon. The first camera that I actually used that was a Fujifilm camera was a camera that looked a lot like this one. And this is the Fujifilm X100. This is the actual 100F, and this is the latest of this camera breed. This is the camera that got me into the mirrorless ecosystem and moreover into the Fujifilm world. I just love the colors from this camera. I just also love the form factor and the fact that it was really portable, but it was also offering me a professional quality sensor in there. So this is the camera that got me in. This is a camera that will continue to travel with me because I think that this is one of the best travel camera on the market right now. So this is not going anywhere. This is gonna stay in my bag for at least the foreseeable future. I pushed actually that travel light thinking to a degree where I was now considering even smaller cameras than the Fujifilm X100. And this is where I got the Fujifilm X7iii. And that was my pocketable camera. This was the camera that was always not just in my bag, but actually on me. So I was always ready to pull it off and to take a photo. Actually, I don't know why I'm doing that. There's not even a viewfinder here. To take a photo and to do a selfie with friends and my girlfriend at the resto. So that was a really great camera. The cool part is that I gave that camera to my daughter, who's now, you know, learning the basics of photography, like the aperture, the speed, and the ISO and the exposure compensation. So she's asking a lot of questions. I think that this is a great camera for that. It's also really tough. And you know how kids sometimes they drop stuff, and she hasn't dropped it yet, so I'm really happy about that. But this is now her camera, and this is also not going anywhere anytime soon. Then we enter the big guns category, like I like to call it. This is the camera that made me sell all of my Nikon gear. So at the beginning I had the 100, the X100. I had my Nikon gear with very, very good glass. You know, the 85 1.4. I had the Holy Trinity, so from 14 to 24, 24 to 70, 70 to 200. And I replaced all of that with this magnificent Fujifilm X Pro 2, and this was the ultimate, you know, professional camera back then because it had a very good X-trans sensor in there. It had a very cool form factor, felt good in the hand, small lenses but very efficient lenses. I think the 16mm, the one that I'm filming with right now, 1.4 is one of the best. The 56 1.2, oh my god, this was very, very cool, and also, you know, lighter and more portable than the Nikon system. So this is a camera that I used a lot, not using it a lot anymore. This is actually going up for sale. So if you are interested, please DM me or leave a message down below. And then you got your Fujifilm Xt2, which was the basically the best camera I think that Fujifilm has put out there. This was the camera that made a lot of DSLR shooters switch to. A lot of people from Canon, a lot of people from Nikon, a lot of people from, you know, other brands were considering switching because of this camera. This was the perfect, I would say, the knocking it out of the park camera, and I've been shooting with this since it basically came out, and I've been really happy. More recently, I wanted to stay within the Fujifilm ecosystem and decided to buy the X-H1, and that's actually what I'm filming with right now. And as you can tell, I've been using this camera for several months now. I've been happy with it. There's a lot of course, there's a lot of flaws with this camera. They've fixed a lot of things with the firmware update, the most recent one, including the autofocus and the face detection. And as you can see, I'm looking at the screen up there, it's working very well and way better than the last firmware. All that to say, this is my world right now. I'm using a lot of Fujifilm gears. I have a lot of lenses that goes with this Fujifilm gear. But there's one thing throughout the whole experience that I was still missing. And you know, I've bought a Sony camera. You can actually see videos there. Bought a Sony camera to do vlogs and to do these kind of videos. And I think I made a mistake back then because I bought a Sony A6500 and I was not a happy camper. I didn't like the form factor, I didn't like the battery life, I didn't like the actual sensor and color science. I was spending hours on the computer trying to fix the skin tones and so on and so forth. So I said, you know what, let's go back to Fujifilm, my safe harbor, and let's just sell that A6500. And then recently, Sony, I think for the first time, started to listen to their users and to their photographers and videographers. They started to fix a lot of things that were irritating people that were trying Sony cameras. And this goes back to the A6300, A6500, full frame cameras like the A7S2 and the A7R2 and 3. So battery life is a problem with Fujifilm cameras. So it seems that on the A7 III, all the reviews I'm seeing right now is that they have great battery life. Maybe one of the best battery life on the market with these big batteries. The second thing is skin tones. All the reviewers out there were saying, well, you know what, Canon skin tones are the best, and nobody will come close. Sony skin tones are SHIT. What I'm seeing right now is people vlogging with the A7 III and getting very good color science. Some people are saying that they don't spend hours trying to fix the colors. They're just applying a small LUT, or they are color correcting it very lightly and they get pleasant report in their video. So these are two very strong things that I'm looking for. The third thing is something that I didn't think I would miss, and I didn't really miss it in the first few years. But I was looking at, in Lightroom, at my old photos from my Nikon D700 and my D750. And that full frame look, I think I'm starting to miss the depth of field. I mean, when I was putting this 85mm 1.4 and I was getting that very shallow depth of field and that full frame bokeh in the background, that is something that I think I'm starting to miss more and more. So full frame, didn't think it would be a problem, and I'm not saying it's a problem, but I'm saying that I've seen some shots from the A7 III, and I think I would basically go back to that feeling of having that full frame sensor. I know I will, because I saw some examples. So I'm browsing through the specs here, and I won't go over the specs because there's so many specs reviewer out there. I'm not that type of reviewer. I'm more about the real life situation, the camera that's right in front of me, the camera I'm bringing on my travels, the lenses that I'm trying. So I am considering the A7 III for kind of these three reasons that I talked about, but also because I like change. I think change is good. I think you shouldn't be romantic about any camera brands. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate in the comments. People are gonna say, oh, you are now a Sony fanboy, or you are ditching Fujifilm, and Fujifilm, they don't have anything, you know, wrong with them. And you know what? No, there's not anything wrong with any of the Fujifilm cameras. I think this channel is about growing. I think this channel is about experimenting. I think this channel is about, you know, you learning from me and me learning from you. So if you have a camera that is, you know, helping you tell a better story, or if you have a piece of gear that's enabling you to be more efficient in the way you tell your story, please share it in the comment down below, because that's the whole point of this community. If I do end up buying the A7 III, and I think I'm about to, if I, you know, I'm able to sell some of this equipment that I'm using right now, I will report back. And again, this is the whole deal that we have here. If you are not subscribed to this channel, please do so and hit that bell notification, because you'll know as soon as I get the Sony A7 III, and you'll be able to bash on me, you'll be able to insult me, but you'll also be able to maybe learn a thing or two from me, and I'll be able to learn a thing or two from you. That's it for today. This is my thoughts tonight, and I hope that you guys are gonna be respectful in the comment, because I know when you talk about camera brands, there's a lot of people out there that will be, you know, expressing themselves very openly, and I encourage that, but please stay respectful and stay true to yourself. I will report back as soon as I have an update. Thank you so much. I've been Fred Ranger. Please follow on social, @FredRanger on Instagram, @FredRanger on Twitter and Facebook, and let me know if you have any questions. Cheers.